The Carabao Cup final is in sight now for Liverpool. It will be 2 years on the run and their first under Arne Slot. But two big games against Tottenham stands in their way. And after that rather crazy encounter in North London just before Christmas that gave Liverpool all 3 points, Spurs looking to exact a little bit of revenge on the Reds tonight. It is the first leg of this semi-final and we have got all the best build-up right here on LFC TV, followed by live audio commentary coming your way from 8 o'clock. Good evening to you. Welcome along to tonight's Matchday Live. Gemma Bonner and Jay Spearing are my guests in the studio this evening. Their thoughts on tonight coming up very shortly. Before that, though, we're going to head down for our first visit to North London, where our man Rob Jones is based for the night. Rob.
Becky, thank you very much. Good evening. Welcome to a wintry Tottenham Hotspur Stadium where the sleet is falling here on semi-final first leg night. David James is alongside me for League Cup semi-final number 20 for Liverpool. You will see a lot of changes, a lot of youngsters involved in the earlier rounds, but now you're just 2 games away from Wembley.
Absolutely, and with the season Liverpool having, shall I say, I'm sure a lot of the fans will be seeing this as an opportunity, say first of all to get to Wembley, but to continue what's been an incredible run since Nottingham Forest.
Do you think that the performance Liverpool put in, which I think everyone would accept they were some way off their best against Manchester United on Sunday, will that change anything to do with Arne Slot's thinking for tonight?
Depending on, obviously, fitness, I think is going to be the key thing. With the game against Accrington Stanley on the weekend, there's an opportunity, possibly, and I say respectfully, to have more exertion in this match than perhaps had it been straight into a Premier League game. With that being said, talking about injuries, the health of some of the players who weren't available on Sunday against Manchester United, likes of Dominic, if he's available, but I think Liverpool will go for it.
And so you should, when you're so close to a cup final. And I remember saying at St Mary's before the last round, for a manager or a head coach in his first season, when you're so close to a trophy, that anything that happens after that, at least you've got one under your belt as Liverpool boss, and that's what he's here for.
Yeah, interesting when you say one under the belt. I think what I've liked about this season so far with Arne, it's almost like let's play the game rather than worry about the competition. And again, because he's got an opportunity where he could put a strong side out today to win this match, with 8 games in between this and the next match, or the second leg. So a lot can happen in that time. Get a good performance. I mean, like you said, Manchester United wasn't the greatest performance, but it was a good point, especially with the other results going in Liverpool's favour as well. So here's an opportunity, get a good result, get a good performance, and then look forward to Accrington on the weekend. Do
you think Arne Slot would snap your hand out off for what Newcastle managed just up the road at the Emirates last night, a 2-goal lead to take the second leg?
Just a little bit. I mean, 2-goal lead and a clean sheet would be a wonderful, wonderful result. I think I told you before, I think 0-0 hasn't happened between these two teams, I think once in the last 2.5 years, so in domestic football. So there's going to be goals. As long as they're for Liverpool, then Arne will be very happy.
What do we take from the meeting just a few weeks ago? Ange Postecoglou in his programme note said today, the last time we entertained Liverpool, and entertained was the right word, 6-3 it finished. Do we expect any different type of a fixture tonight?
I think the difference, and again, there's a lot of similarities with the Manchester United game on the weekend. I think the difference is how Tottenham approach this rather than Liverpool. If Liverpool are allowed to play the way they did last time they were here, I think Tottenham getting 3 goals was fortunate in some respects because Liverpool took their foot off the gas. But if they're allowed to play that way, then you'd expect Liverpool to score a lot of goals. I think Tottenham will possibly defend a little bit more, like, as I said, Manchester United did on the weekend.
Well, we're just watching Liverpool actually arrive away to our right-hand side. Virgil van Dijk is here, so we will see the teams very shortly. But we were talking about how Spurs might approach it a little bit earlier on this evening and whether they want to stay in the tie up until Anfield, or you think they've got to go for it tonight at home. And they always go for it, don't they?
Yeah, I think both teams have got to go for it. I think they have to, yeah. As much as I'm confident that Liverpool can get the result and win the game, I think the Spurs team should be looking at what happened on the weekend against Manchester United and say, perhaps if we've got any chance of taking advantage of what might be some non-confidence in that Liverpool side, then we go for it right from the beginning, see what they're made of, and hopefully get the result. I mean, I was here for the City game in the Carabao Cup. First half an hour, Tottenham were absolutely blistering. They hung on in the end, cleared one off the line last minute, but they did enough at the beginning of the game, and I think that's what they're going to have to go for.
David, thank you very much indeed for the moment. We will be back with team news very shortly, but judging by who's been strolling past us, Liverpool are going strong tonight.
OK, thank you both. As Rob says, he is back with that team news very shortly as soon as we have it. Before that, though, let's remind ourselves of exactly what happened the last time these two sides met. And you don't have to cast your minds back too far for this one. 2.5 weeks have passed since that 9-goal thriller just before Christmas, and this is how it unfolded.
Twas the week before Christmas, and Liverpool go into it with the opportunity to enhance their position at the top of the Premier League. His Saar wasn't that far away. Really good block, Salah again. And he's dancing. Oh, he's so close. There's the cross, header, goal. And there's Alexis McAllister, and it's 2-0 to Liverpool. Liverpool have given the ball away here. Maddison scores. Look at the runners Liverpool have. It's Szoboszlai, and he has a goal. Diaz, now Gakpo. Goes down for Szoboszlai, and Salah scores! They're looking for another. Salah's in again. Kulusevski continues his run. It's a wonderful Tottenham goal, really is. There's Johnson, and Solanke turns the ball home. Luis Diaz. Oh, that's it. Arne Slot's Express just moves on. Tottenham Hotspur 3, Liverpool 6.
What an entertaining afternoon that one was. A warm welcome to you two. How are we?
Very good, thank you.
You looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, a little buzzing for it, to be fair. I think, especially after the weekend, the weekend wasn't an unbelievable performance from Liverpool. It was a solid one, coming down from 1-0 down to get ourselves back in the game. A disappointing second goal to concede so late on, but as a footballer, you want a game as quick as possible to try and reenact and try and fix them problems that were going on. And, what a better game than an end-to-end Tottenham game away.
Absolutely, in a semi-final of the Carabao Cup as well, Jem. Watching that 6-3 video back there, as Ange Postecoglou no doubt will have done over the past few days, the big question, and Rob and David addressed it, is does he adapt his Tottenham sides, which he tends not to want to do, or does he do what he likes to do and steadfastly stick to how he wants to play, regardless of whether that might not give him the best outcome against a team like Liverpool?
Yeah, I think he's extremely confident in his way of playing, in his style of play. I think he gives his squad a lot of confidence in terms of he knows he's got a lot of injuries and players out at the moment. I'm not sure he'll probably change too much because I don't think it's in his nature and his style of play. But I think maybe what he will do is he will look at those, and I think there were moments that they could have probably managed the game better. They take a lot of risks in how they do play, so I think the goal that Liverpool scored just before half-time in the last game, I think that was probably a bit of a killer blow for them, and it really, after them getting back into the game. So I'm not sure the style of play will change too much, but it may be moments in the game that they have to manage them a little bit better.
Yeah, we're seeing pictures of Mohamed Salah there, Jarell Quansah as well, arriving at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Team news is on its way very shortly. In terms of Spurs, their game since that Liverpool defeat, I think a bit harsh in terms of people are saying that they're having a rough patch, but the teams they've played, Forest bang in form, Newcastle the same, obviously defeats to those two, and a draw against Wolves, but conceding 6 at home is gonna knock your confidence, isn't it, Jay?
Yeah, but I think so, and the way that Liverpool did it as well. Liverpool did it with such clinical finishing, and they caused them problems all night long. They sat in, and Liverpool done them incredibly well on the counter-attack. Spurs' pitch, I think if you look at it, is a massive pitch. Going to war, obviously playing against Wolves, Forest, the pitches are a little bit different. They're different types of teams. Probably Forest are probably a most similar way of playing, like Liverpool did on the counter-attack, and they weren't able to obviously to deal with it. But Spurs, just like Gemma said, they're not going to change their way of playing for whoever they're going to come up against. Ange's going to stick to his guns clearly. You know, everyone's been asking him in press conference after press conference, are you going to change? Are you going to, you know, stop playing end-to-end football and leaving yourself so wide open? And he's refusing to change. So he's sticking by his guns, and I don't expect anything different tonight.
Let's speak about VAR as well, because there is this kind of, I suppose, communication, you could say, to the fans in the stadium, which was trialled last night with the Arsenal-Newcastle game, same in this semi-final as well. Ange Postecoglou has given his thoughts on it, and he says that he's not into it. He's obviously not the biggest VAR fan anyway, but I think maybe a valid point where he was talking about the handball with Joe Linton at the weekend in their game with Newcastle, and he said, look, if you tell our fans that's happened, they're still not going to be happy about it, and it doesn't really change things. What's your thoughts on it? We've all been in stadiums and been frustrated by that delay with VAR and not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously doesn't change the decision. I think it obviously gives a bit more explanation and understanding for the fans that are in the stadium. I would expect a reaction from the fans, whether it's a positive or however it is, and I think it probably gives the fans just a little bit more insight in terms of what's going on, because there's a lot of people that have no idea, and it can be quite a lengthy amount of time. But ultimately it doesn't change the decision, so you have to hope that, as we always hope, that they do get the right one.
Yeah, Anne's not into it, but I think that there is merit in it, isn't there, for the supporters in the stadium, Joe?
Yeah, there is. If you look at it over time, I think a lot of the biggest thing that the fans get frustrated with is the length of time. You know, they're sitting there, they've got no idea what's going on. Are they checking an offside? Are they checking because of a goal? How far is the VAR going back? So a little bit of a clarification inside the stadium will probably help everybody. Will they get a good reaction? Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It's going to be obviously depending on which way it goes for the home side or obviously the away side. So yeah, listen, I think it is a good start within the VAR that they can, you know, give at least the fans inside an idea, because obviously people at home, they clearly know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, as I was saying, obviously trialled in the Arsenal-Newcastle game last night. Let's speak about that one, because I think a big surprise, that result down at the Emirates, and a huge task now for Arsenal to turn that round. St James's Park, one of the most vociferous grounds in the country, Jem.
Yeah, I mean, for Newcastle to take that back home, playing in the second leg, I think that's definitely an advantage. No one probably expected it, but I think Newcastle have been in a great run of form lately. But it goes to show, I think, Liverpool coming up tonight, you know, it's no easy game. It's a semi-final. I think Tottenham have beaten United and City to get to this stage. So I think it's, if anything, it's a reminder that, you know, you're in a semi-final and it's not going to be easy, and it's maybe not go the expected way. So I think Liverpool can probably learn from that result last night and hopefully make sure that we could come away with a 2-0. That would be delightful tonight.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? What slightly deflates it is this gap that we've got this year between the two legs. Obviously it's a month before they meet again, so that the tensions kind of stoked up in the first game are a little bit flat by the time that the next one comes around.
I think David mentioned it before. There's 8 games between, you know, the first leg and the second leg, so it's incredibly long time. But you know, we touched again on the manager. The manager just looks at, like, you know, the next game that's coming on. I think a big thing for Liverpool, if I'm honest, for tonight's game is that, you know, the game of the weekend, and I mean no disrespect to Accrington Stanley in the FA Cup, but tonight probably give the manager an opportunity to play a very strong team leading into the weekend. You know, he might be able to make a couple of changes towards Saturday's game, but tonight he'll want to get a good result under his belt. It's going to be a difficult game at Tottenham. You know, we're not quite sure what type of Tottenham we may get. Or a couple of people coming back from illness, from injury. He may start a new goalkeeper as well, so that might, you know, help the defence in that sort of way. So yeah, there's a lot of options looking forward to.
It remains to be seen what happens in the second legs, obviously. But if Newcastle were to be the opposition and Liverpool were to make it through to Wembley, would you prefer a Newcastle final over an Arsenal final, Jem?
I mean, you have to say I probably would, in terms of big game experience. You'd probably back Liverpool, or to be the favourites at least. But again, they'll have beaten the top teams to get there. So I think we saw last year the final with the young players that played. It's a final, it's an opportunity, and it's where everyone wants to be playing. But I think for Liverpool, if we can obviously get a good result tonight, there is a long time before the second leg, but I think it's definitely one that Liverpool can go out strong tonight.
OK, thanks both. Time to go back down now to Rob and David James. They've got details now of Liverpool's starting 11 for this evening's semi-final against Tottenham. Rob.
Becky, thank you very much. Arne Slot has rotated a little tonight. 4 changes from the side that started the draw against Manchester United at Anfield at the weekend. 3 of them coming in defence, with Conor Bradley, Costa Tsimikas and Jarell Quansah all coming into the team for Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson and Ibrahim Konate. And up front, Diogo Jota replaces Luis Diaz. So the Liverpool team in full. This is perhaps interesting. Alisson plays only his 2nd ever Carabao Cup match for the club, the first 3 years ago in the first leg of the semi-final against Arsenal. It's a back 4 of Bradley, Virgil van Dijk, Jarell Quansah, who started every round so far, and Costa Tsimikas, who starts his first game since the Champions League victory over Bayer Leverkusen on the 5th of November. It's the same 2 deeper-lying midfielders, Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister. Mo Salah was twice a goal scorer on this ground in that 6-3 win just before Christmas. Curtis Jones, who scored in the first leg of the semi-final against Fulham last season, and Cody Gakpo continuing on the left. And Diogo Jota starts his first game for Liverpool since the end of October, when he went off injured in that game against Chelsea at Anfield. All of those who started on Sunday dropped to the bench. Federico Chiesa is amongst the substitutes as well. I do feel sort of cliched starting with the goalkeeper, but that's interesting.
Well, had Ali not been out for as long as he was, obviously Caoimhin done a magnificent job in deputising for him. I don't think he would have played today. It would have been Caoimhin's game. And when you think FA Cup game on a weekend, then Caoimhin gets an opportunity to play this week as well. So it makes perfect sense to give him more game time, get him more up to speed for some tricky fixtures coming up.
Will he be a little irked though, do you think?
No, because I mean the weird thing is, since he's been back, there's been a few goals scored. Not blaming.
Sorry, I meant Kelleher. Do you think Kelleher will be a little bit irked? No, I'm sure Alisson's fine with playing sort of his job.
Well, it's his 2nd. I mean, maybe it was a competition he thought he might not ever appear again in. But no, I don't think Caoimhin. He fully understands the role that he has, and I think it's important, again, given the role that he's been playing, that Ali's at his best up to 100% match speed, and this gives him an opportunity against a very strong opposition to get him to that position.
As I mentioned, 3 changes in defence as well. Do you think that, given all the furore and chatter about Trent Alexander-Arnold at the weekend, he was always going to sit this one out, or do you think that might have been influenced in terms of the manager's thinking by what happened on Sunday and the way he played?
No. Not to the latter. I think again, like Ali, there's opportunities to play players, get them match minutes against decent opposition, because there's going to be a lot of games coming up in the next couple of months which everyone's going to need to be on top form for.
And Jarell Quansah, you would say that Ibrahim Konate is one that Arne Slot, I think, will probably feel he has to be really careful with in terms of managing. I doubt we'll see him against Accrington either at the weekend.
No, I thought, I mean, it was a bold move by Arne to put Konate in against Manchester United, given that he had only trained, I think, a couple of days prior to that. So I'm sure the medical staff and the strength and conditioning coaches and everyone would have looked at the analysis and probably thought it's a game too much, or not enough rest time between the 2 matches for him to play. So again, makes perfect sense, and Quansah played very well when he came on in his last match.
He's spoilt for choice in that forward position now because of the emergence of Luis Diaz as his false 9, which has actually been probably more effective than a lot of people thought it might be. But is the most natural old school number 9 the man who plays tonight, Diogo Jota? It
is, and again, I mean, when I say I'm surprised, I mean, prior to the Manchester United game, I thought Diaz might have played on the wide, but as you say, he's sort of emerged as that false 9, sort of hopeful now. But Diogo Jota, another one who needs minutes, but when he has come on, has influenced the game positively. So opportunity for him to start, get minutes, and hopefully score goals.
What's the best front 3?
There isn't a best. the only constant will be. I think the beauty of it is, and more plaudits towards Arne and the way that he set this team up, is that there is so much rotation available. Bar Mo Salah, of course, on the right hand side there, but the other 3-4 players that you would put in those positions can all do it from different positions, arguably. One of the problems that the opposition always have, who do we train or practice or prepare against, when Arne might change things, as he has done again today.
But I always think, and you might disagree from a goalkeeper's perspective, that if the ball's bobbling in the penalty area in the 85th minute and you want it dropping to someone, you would go Jota above possibly a few of the others. Maybe Salah might be the one to be right at the top of the list, but Jota wouldn't be far behind.
Yeah, but you've got 85 minutes of maybe Cody Gakpo cutting in and smashing one in, or Luis Diaz getting on the end of a header. So the problems for the opposition are going to be there no matter who starts.
David, thank you very much indeed for the moment. As we expected and as we saw them arrive, I said it, thought Liverpool would go strong. Arne Slot certainly has done that. When we come back a little bit later on, we will talk Tottenham.
Thank you both very much indeed. Straight to that call on the goalkeeper, Quaveen Kelleher. Obviously, I think listening to Arne Slot's press conference yesterday, there was maybe a hint that it might be Alisson who started tonight, and that has come to pass. What are your thoughts, Jem?
I think what Arne's done is he always picks the best team for the game that's ahead of them. I think, bearing in mind with the opponent at the weekend, he probably wants the team to keep having a bit of rhythm, especially after the result of the weekend, maybe the performance. It gives an opportunity for the boys to go out and play again. And I think it's less disruption in terms of how Tottenham play. He knows that they're going to have those moments, and I think Alisson in those moments, he comes up big, and there's a lot of times that he's had them one-on-one opportunities that he's kept Liverpool in the game, or he's come up with a big moment. And I think given the opposition tonight, I think Alisson can be a huge supportive in that back line, and especially with Jarrell coming in at centre-back, it's a little bit more experience at the back.
I think it's fair to ask, will there be an element of frustration from Queeve, because this has obviously been his competition and he's been absolutely outstanding in the competition, but I think it's obviously tempered by the game on Saturday and the fact that you would very much imagine he does start against Accrington Stanley, Jay. Yeah,
of course, like Queeve's renowned for the Carling Cup, you know, with the history of it, they scoring the penalty, saving penalties. I think, if I'm honest, I think over the season with Ali's amount, how long he's been out for, I think that game time for him and trying to find the rhythm. I completely agree with Gemma that I think it's more of a decision on he feels that the manager must want Ali to kind of get like a rhythm of games going. You know, obviously with the disappointment of the weekend. I think Queeve as a player, he's an incredible professional. I think he'll understand the decision. I agree with you as well that, you know, towards the weekend, I think he'll definitely play the weekend, but the decision was made tonight. I think the Carabao Cup over the years has probably become more and more of a big tournament for teams to win. And I think if you look at the Arsenal team, the Newcastle team, and then obviously the Liverpool team tonight, the competition's getting shown a massive amount of respect. And I think, you know, all three teams that have played in obviously last night's game and tonight, obviously we'll find out the Tottenham one soon, but I think it's the teams are always strong, and, you know, they've shown that they're willing, they all want to go and they all want to be successful in this competition. Yeah,
only Alisson's second ever appearance in this competition for Liverpool. The first one also in the first leg of a semi-final against Arsenal. January 2022, that one. Let's speak about Jarrell Kwanzaa. I think that very understandable, given Ibu Konate only came back at the weekend. Asking for 2 games in 4 days would probably been a bit much, Jem.
Yeah, I think he's probably we were just saying, the first player that's actually come back into the team and played 97 minutes or so, was it, straight off. So I think, again, we spoke about how many players we have available at this stage. I think Ibu coming back, getting through a full game is a huge credit, again, to the medical, the performance team. But I think, yeah, to play 2 games in quick succession, I think it's an opportunity for Jarrell. Obviously he started the season and he'll have been disappointed, but I think games like tonight, it's an opportunity for him to show against Premier League opposition. You know, it's a big game for Liverpool, and I think he's learning against, or next to, and training next to, probably for me, the 2 best centre-backs in the league. Yeah. What they have been, so he knows he's had to be patient. You can see in the last games that he's come on, he's learning. It's definitely a year of learning for him, but all these experiences, and we probably forget how young he is still. So for him to get the opportunity tonight, I think he'll definitely want to take it.
A word for Cody Gakpo, who's absolutely flying at the moment. It was the first time at the weekend that he'd scored in 3 consecutive league games, and he loves this competition as well. I think he's got 9 goal involvements in 9 Carabao Cup games, and 8 of them have been goals himself. Yeah,
it's incredible stats, but it's down to him, his professionalism, you know. At the start of the season, he was probably not favoured compared to Diaz. I think Diaz took the left-hand side, and because Diaz started the season incredibly well, scoring goal after goal after goal, you know, he couldn't really get himself going and find himself out of the team. But since he's come in the team, every time he's played, he's made a huge impact. He's either scored goals, assisted goals, and like you say, just with the stats there, he's an incredible. He has an incredible work ethic for the team as well. Yeah. You know, he runs back, he runs forward. He's a danger cutting inside. How teams keep letting him come inside is beyond me, because, you know, week after week in games he keeps coming in and finishing. And
finds a way, doesn't
yeah,
he?
his finishing is exceptional, and, you know, being able to be around it on a daily basis, you know, the extra work that goes on with Johnny Heitinger and his finishing, and, you know, the forward line, you know, it's a credit to them, the work that they put in on a daily basis to make it as a top level that they can.
Yeah,
I think
Cody
as well,
go on, Jem.
the goals that he does score, they're always important goals.
Important goals. I
To
was
even
just going to say that.
Get back into the games, or, you know, he seems to take the ownership and go and get the ball. We speak about his defensive side of it. He actually goes and wins the ball back and sets off the attack, and 9 times out of 10 he'll get on the end of it, or he'll create something for himself. So I think for me he's really stepped up this year, and I think they've been crucial goals at crucial times that he's contributed.
Connor Bradley as well starts this evening, had I think 11-12 minutes at the weekend, when it's still impressive in a very short period of time, and good for him to get some more minutes under his belt tonight.
Yeah, the injury that he picked up, you know, the hamstring was probably not a great time for him.
Yeah.
You know, he started to find rhythm of games, starting to find, you know, the Connor Bradley that we came to love. A lovely little cameo for him, and for 10-15 minutes. And, you know, I totally agree with David that the fact I don't think anything of the weekend has changed a reason for him to play. I think, you know, probably he was always probably going to play this game, so along with Jarrell and also with Tsimikas. I don't think there's anything to read into. He's an exceptional fullback. He's hungry, he wants to improve, he wants to get better, he wants to, you know, be successful with this club, and I think, you know, it's a credit to him. The injury that was obviously named at first was probably a longer term one. You know, it shows the commitment in the gym and in the physios, you know, the sports science side to be able to get us back as quick as he can. And, you know, what a fantastic pitch for him to go and play on tonight. Plenty of space to run up and down that right-hand side.
It is indeed. It's a beautiful stadium, isn't it, to give Tottenham credit. Finally, a quick word on Diogo Jota, who I think a lot of people have been itching for this start to happen. I remember doing, I think, the Leicester game on Boxing Day, and a lot of people thought that was going to be the night that he started. It is this evening, but great for him to get hopefully a decent amount of minutes again tonight.
Yeah, it is. I think he's had to be patient. I mean, the goal-scoring form that the front three have been in, he's had to bide his time. I think tonight he'll be delighted to get that number 9 and lead the line. I think, you know, his contributions when he's come on, even if it's been 20 minutes, he'll always create, he'll always usually score. So I think to have a player like that come in tonight, I think he'll really suit in terms of the space that Tottenham will leave, in terms of receiving in between the lines and being able to find the wide players. But he's also able to drift out into the wide spaces, and we spoke about Cody Gakpo before. He likes to go in central, so, you know, it's quite similar in terms of a Diaz dropping in and filtering into the wide area. So he'll definitely want to, I'm sure he'll be trying to get on the score sheet tonight.
He will be chomping at the bit, won't he? OK, Kostas Tsimikas also starts tonight. He has spoken to us ahead of this game. He says despite that big win at Spurs just before Christmas, they can take nothing for granted tonight.
We have to win against a big opponent. I think always when we play against them it's really tough. First of all, as I say, we have to win both games if we want to be in Wembley. I think they have very talented players, you know, and they play really good football. Yeah, I think everybody's exciting for this challenge, because you are 2 games away from the final. So yeah, of course, I think everybody in this club, you know, the expectations are high. Always we want to win every single trophy we have ahead. So the only thing we have to do is to play good football and to win football games.
You were on the bench for that win last month. Another performance like that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, it's good to see these kind of games from the bench, you know, like from outside. Yeah, I'm joking. You know, always your team, you want to win, you know, football games. Was a little bit tricky this game, you know. But I think at this time they will come more focus, you know, on the things we do, and I think at this time will be a different game. I wait my turn from the manager to give me the chance to be back again and to play as better as I can and to help my team to achieve our goals. Of course, was a little bit tricky period for me, you know, from the injury I had, but now I'm 100% fully back and ready for every challenge I have ahead.
And does the memories of how good last season's final was in particular, does that carry extra motivation? You want to feel that again?
Yeah, of course. It's like when you play in the stadium as like Wembley, it always is pleasure to be there, and especially when you win the trophy and make everybody in this club happy, and all the fans who always travel there and show the amazing support we had in every single game, if it's this in a final or if it's play with third division team. They are always there singing for us, and yeah, we are more than happy, to celebrate all together, and always, we want to win the trophies.
It's obviously a big occasion for Tottenham as well, as they desperately want silverware.
Yeah, of course. I think many years they want to win the trophy. I think they will go everything to do that. But this team shows many times that we are 100% focused. The team is clear. We want to win everything from the start of the season. We set our goals, and the only thing we have to do is to go there, play our football, and win the game.
Can you sort of tell us about the hard work you've been putting in to get back to full fitness?
I really work really hard. A lot of hours of treatment, and here in the training ground, even in my house, always try to help myself healing more fast. I came as fast as everybody thought, but when you play in these high level football games, in this club, you have to be 100%. So I take my time. Now I'm fully here and 100%. So yeah, it was really tricky period, as I say, but I trained really hard, and that's why I'm here.
Tsimikas, who starts for Liverpool against Tottenham tonight, and he featured as a substitute in the game against Southampton in the last round. Let's just remind ourselves how that one panned out on the 18th of December. That one 2-1, Liverpool won. Kostas coming on as a substitute that night as he returned from injury. This obviously a stronger team, which you would of course expect for a semi-final. Southampton, Jay, did not make it easy for Liverpool that night, which I think a lot of people thought would be a bit of an easier game than it turned out to be.
Yeah, I think people going into it probably thought, because of Southampton struggles, and obviously the manager just left as well, so the 21s manager took over this night, so it was kind of like, well, what type of Southampton are we going to get? But two clinical finishes from Nunes and Harvey. Harvey obviously played really well that night. I think the whole team did, to be honest. Great for obviously us to see Trey only be involved in it as well, but this one now, we didn't make it. Did we make it hard for ourselves? We had plenty more opportunities to kill the game. Lovely goal from Southampton, but Liverpool thoroughly deserved to go on and win the game. Chiesa playing 45 minutes as well. A couple of changes at half time. It was a comfortable win in the end for Liverpool, and one that we deserved.
Now let's speak about Harvey, Jem, because he was, I think, man of the match. Many people's man of the match that night. Obviously got his goal, as we've just seen, and someone who I think will be frustrated a little bit at how this season's gone. And I think definitely, hopefully, some minutes in the latter stages tonight. He's on the bench this evening and certainly on Saturday.
Yeah, I think with Harvey, the competition that he's got, we can either play in midfield or he plays out wide, and I think when the team's doing so well, it's hard to kind of disrupt that rhythm. And at the moment, in terms of the midfield, it's McAllister, it's Jones, that they've always been rotated, and whether he's been coming on the wing, I think the right wing competition, you're up against Mo Salah, so he has to be pretty patient. But I think, we were saying it before, when the team's doing so well, you can be frustrated, but there's almost not an acceptance, but you're buying your time, you're going to get an opportunity. And in the Southampton game, he came in, he scored a goal, player of the match, and I think those are the opportunities that he has to take. And again, he's another one we forget he's so young. He's played so many games, and he's probably seen as an experienced player within the team, but I'm sure he will be frustrated, and he will have to, I think, training with those players, he's only going to keep on getting better to be able to have that kind of influence in games.
I think that it probably shows his professionalism as well.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a lot of game time at all. I think pre-season he hit the ground running, picked up an injury that he's probably gutted about the timing of it. He was probably one of the main players in pre-season when the manager first came in. He showed him and Curtis Jones probably had an opportunity quicker than everybody else because of the Euros and everything that was going on to show the manager what they were really about. The injury kind of knocked him back, but then since then, like Gemma said, he's had to bide his time. He's behind an incredible amount of players who are, who were playing on top of their game as well. But the professionalism in the Southampton game to come in, play as well as he did, score the goal, and be so creative. He's had to bide his time, and I'm sure he'll be itching at the bit to get on.
A word for the boss as well. Rob and David touched on it in their chat at the top of the show. But how much would winning a trophy in his first season and also early on in his first season to hopefully tee it up, Jem, for what would be the most perfect finale come May?
Yeah, I mean, I've been really impressed. I think obviously results aside, I think just how he holds himself and how he speaks about the game and tactically how he changes things throughout the game and between game to game. And I think for me, it seems like he's obsessed with winning. And it's all those little details that he pays attention to, and it doesn't matter what the opposition is, he analyses them and he plays his best team to win that game. And I think that's a mentality that's ingrained from within, and that's the only way he knows how to do it. So I think for me, to win the trophy, it wouldn't be a surprise with the more games that it's gone and seeing how he works. But it would be a fantastic start, and we keep saying if we'd have said this pre-season we'd be in this situation, we'd be more than happy. So I think, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd be more than happy.
I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? The closer it gets to becoming reality, the more the nerves kick in, I guess, Jay.
Yeah, it does, but also the excitement as well. He's come in, and again, just like Gemma said, if someone had said we'd be in the position that we are now, you'd have bit the hand off, you know what I mean? It's to be where we are, top of the Champions League, top of the league, and then into our first semi-final in the Carabao Cup. I'm sure he'll want to go all the way. You're not going to go this far and go, oh, do you know what, we're okay, we won't go to the final. He's going to want to go all the way and get them hands on the silverware. And what an unbelievable thing. I think the fans have bought into it. I think his players have bought into how he wants to do things, and it's an unbelievable atmosphere at the minute, and we just want to keep going on this ride and keep going on this journey.
I think also what I've loved is he's never got too far ahead of himself, and he always reverts back to the hard work. You can have the players, you can have the best players in the world, but the foundation for him is the hard work, the defensive side of it. So when he's talking about conceding the goals, it's not just the back line, it's not just the goalkeeper or two players, it's the whole team. And there's a lot of places where it could have been stopped higher up, and there was a lot of situations. So I think for me it's how he approaches it and how he goes about it. But he's ultimately quite honest with the team and hard-working, and they know what to expect and what they have to do as players.
OK, thanks, guys. So that is just about it from us for the first part of Matchday Live. Time to say goodbye now to our viewers on social. If you do want to stay with us, though, visit liverpoolfc.com/watch. That URL is on your screen right now if you want to sign up to LFC TV. And for those of you who are staying with us after this break, we've got more build-up, and we're going to hear from Aren Slot as well at 8 o'clock. We've got live audio commentary, and we're back at 10 o'clock with all the post-match reaction. And if you want to catch up on everything post-match, we've got the Reaction podcast that will be available for you tonight. Also, at midnight this evening, you can catch the full match replay on LFC TV. And tomorrow, you can get an exclusive look behind the scenes of the game when Inside drops. That's on our YouTube and Facebook channels. Well, this is the first time both sides will meet at this stage of the competition. This is Spurs' 18th semi-final appearance in the League Cup, with only one side appearing in more. Yeah, you've guessed it, Liverpool. Aren Slot hoping it's 20th time lucky for the Reds, and we're going to hear from him next.